boom this week is just a big boo. I like it. What's his name again?
It's
Fre
Glenn.
Glenn. I knew it was just an innocent, friendly
A
name.
one syllable. What's that, Glenn? It's been a while since you've been on, mate. You can't say that on YouTube.
Disgusting. Dave, my good friend, a pleasure to hang out with you. It's been a while. I feel like I'm a little rusty with
Yeah,
this.
man.
So everybody who's
What do we
watching,
do?
yeah, I usually say
Who
everybody
goes
with us
first? Do you
on.
go on top?
This is definitely the unedited cut. We're just so naughty. Um, So everybody watching on YouTube, thank you for joining us. Hit that subscribe button, thumbs up, the notification bell. We really appreciate it. If you're listening on any other podcast platform, same thing. Hit that subscribe, share it, leave us a comment, let us know what we're doing well, what we could do better. But of course, please visit us at omniversecomics.guide, where all of our archived episodes are, collector item special, creator interviews. We've got a manga spotlight section, all kinds of stuff on the website. And of course, Dave's reading orders. If you want to find a comic book
Oh,
event and you want to see what you got to read and all the in-between stories that have been left out, omniversecomics.guide. It's a great website.
hey,
We're doing Halloween. It's 'tis the season.
we're doing Halloween. Yeah.
Scary
Well,
stories.
yeah. You don't really do Halloween either, do you? In
Not really.
theory.
I mean, I never did growing up, but I mean, a good story is a good scary story. I'm not sure why I can't speak today. Usually there's a lag. This time it's just me. Um, being being a Batman fan growing up, Spider-Man fan, it's basically Halloween every page.
Yeah.
You know what I
Just
mean?
dressing up. Scary creatures. Crime.
All of that.
Monsters.
Monsters, there you go. So a guy dresses up as a bat to scare people. What's more Halloween than that?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, he's nailing
spoiler,
it.
I might have a Batman pick in today's
Ooh.
recommended reads. But as always, I don't know who goes first. I think it's your turn
Oh,
this
it's
time.
you.
Is it me? My first pick is going to be something that I think we've spoken about either in passing or maybe sometime this year in regards to the character. And it hasn't always been in the most favorable terms, but I think it's the perfect Halloween book. My pick is going to be Spider-Man Maximum Carnage. There you go. There's the book that I read it
Oh,
in. It's an old school
there it
paperback.
is.
There it is. Dave just loves this book.
Oh,
The
yeah.
reason why,
Precious memories.
the, so in my JMD reading of the omnibus that had come out, it gets into the crossover, and he had like three, four parts, but the entire event isn't in the omnibus. So I'm like, I'm not gonna read.
That's weird when they do that.
Yeah.
They might
So
as well just leave it out.
yeah, it was a little bit of a weird choice because then the issues that follow aren't even written by him. Anywho, so I'm in my Spider-Man reading of the 90s on the amazing side as well as the spectacular side, gotten to Maximum Carnage, and I was kind of putting it off because I'm like, okay, I'll stop here for a little bit and I'll get back to it when I feel like it. So it gave me an excuse to open this up since I've gotten to this point reading it. And I always remember you
Yeah.
saying it should be minimum carnage. He didn't do anything. It was ridiculous. I'm like, I gotta read this just for the fun of it. And the nostalgia that it brought back to me being a 9, 10-year-old kid with this image everywhere on video games and every comic book
Yeah. Did you have
advertisement.
the game?
I played it. I don't have the game, but
No,
this was
never
like
played it.
for me, sort of, you know how we always use that term. You know how people say my Superman, my Spider-Man. This was at like the height of Spider-Man just being so prolific in everything. You had the animated series around the corner, all of the
Yeah.
Maximum Carnage video game
Yeah, that's true.
crossover, and then the Clone Saga was just around the corner. Like Spider-Man was everywhere, and he was cool at the time because the art was like so definitive for the moment. You had Mark Bagley, you had Sal Buscema, you had Tom Lyle. Like it
Yeah.
was just a lot of cool looking Spider-Man all the time for a 9, 10-year-old kid. It's like peak nostalgia for me. And flipping through this, Carnage is a terrifying character, stupid character, but he is just a literal mass murderer, right? He's
Well, yeah, sort of.
a, s- yes,
Does he kill anyone though?
he does. He does. You
Does
don't
he kill like two people?
know. He kills a lot of
Or
people.
is it all off camera?
it's a lot of off camera and stuff in the background where you see like literal pun intended carnage left behind. So there's one scene where they're in
Yeah.
Central Park, cuts away, and the shot you see bodies just strewn throughout Central
Don't
Park in New
remember
York.
that bit.
Yeah, he kills everybody in the in is it Ravencroft that he was at in the psych ward that
Yeah.
held him? He killed all the
Was he?
guards and the doctors. Yeah. So he's got his body count up
Wow. I can
early,
see I have misremembered this really badly.
but to your point, with all the carnage that he is committing,
Hmm.
I can't think of a major death within the Spider-Man family that comes to mind. I'm in the middle of reading this. I started this last night and I'm halfway through today, just trying to
Yeah.
catch up. So I don't know if there's anything largely consequential.
Do you want me to sort of pseudo spoil it, seeing as you
Yes,
have read
please.
it? Do you want me
Yes,
to?
please.
Well, I won't
Absolutely.
totally spoil it in case someone hasn't read it, wants to read it. There is a death, but there is a fake out.
Right. I remember something like
Hmm.
that. So, in that regard, all the toys get put back where they belong,
Yeah.
but he does have a body count throughout the book. So, you've got Venom, you've got Black Cat, you've got this character Shriek, Carnage, of course, the doppelganger, Spider-Man doing his Spider-Man
Yeah.
thing,
I
and
love the doppelganger.
yeah, Demo Goblin. Like this is a book made for Halloween.
Yeah.
And I wanted to pick it first because it's also I think it's fun to read with your kid. Like this is fun stuff to look at the bright big pictures. It is scary enough, but it's PG. It's not going to scar your kids.
That's just it, right? Well, that's why it's minimum carnage, is because where it's off screen, it's so that it's a Spidey book from the 90s. It was still a like in theory family friendly
Yes.
title or series of titles. So that's why it's not maybe as aggressive as it could be. Although I do think there were some other stories around that time in the Spidey books that were
Yes.
much darker and
Yes.
like
The
more horrific.
spectacular Spider-Man. The JMD
Well,
stuff
Spectacular
was
Spider-Man psychologically, yeah,
very deep.
definitely. But even like
Yes.
the McFarlane run on Spider-Man,
Yes.
which is obviously a couple of years before this, with the mutating hobgoblin,
Yes.
the kidnapping kids and putting them up in slimy web things, and it's and then one kid mutating, and the Craven the
That's a good
hunter with a head
Halloween
bit of a
pick.
head missing, and there's loads really, I guess, if you think about it, right? Almost the McFarlane run in itself is horrific.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know even the writers, I know JMD has been on record as saying like he wasn't excited about doing this book because of the whole crossover thing, and it
Mm,
was like so simple
yeah,
of like I'm kind of done with Venom and Carnage and all of the hoopla.
yeah.
But to look back, this was a major Spider-Man event. It's one of those always going to be mentioned in some regard, and everybody's in it. It is made for
It's a guest star-a-rama.
so it's just a
Yeah,
fun nostalgic ride into Spider-Man lore and it feels like completely appropriate for the season. I gotta say.
it's a fair cop, Gov. Why not? Uh, it could be shorter. Why not?
All right, I want to hear your
All
number
right.
one.
I'm going to stay in the Marvel Universe, my number
Ooh,
one, which
yes.
feels like unexpected. I meant to run this for the last 2 years, and I thought, let's do it now before you steal it from me. So this one is a great example seasonally of a fantastic Christmas story. This is Uncanny X-Men 143. The story's Demon. It's the last issue drawn by John Byrne, written by Chris Claremont. It is a Christmas story, but it's a horror story. So you can read it for Halloween. You can read it for Christmas. Christy Halloween.
Uh,
You can read it anywhere between the Octobers and the Decembers, wherever you like. Slot it in wherever you want. That's how I roll. So this is a tribute to the 1979 film that it seems not many people heard of called Alien, whatever that's about.
Hidden gem.
And Chris Claremont loved it so much. Good call. Chris Claremont loved it so much, he thought he'd do a sneaky, basically total rip-off of Alien with Kitty Pryde on her own in the mansion. And this, now, I want to pronounce, I think it's Engarai demon, but this thing is from a previous story. So it's not like he just It's from X-Men 96, which I think was 1975-ish. So those demons that had appeared before, and Claremont used them as well, but in disguise in an issue of Doctor Strange, because he was writing all sorts of different titles, and he would bring characters across the different titles, which is why you see Misty Knight from Power Man and Iron Fist in some of the X-Men books, and Jean Grey shows up over there, and all this kind of stuff. So that's kind of fun. That's the shared universe stuff I think was really fun in the 70s. People really kind of making use of that, and Claremont did it loads. But this one, I mean, Kitty's still new to the X-Men. She's only really just come to the mansion, and it's just following the death of Jean Grey. Spoiler: Jean Grey dies in some storyline before this that probably no one remembers.
Jam.
Dark Ponix saga or something. Anyway, Kitty is left on her own in the mansion, which I think is irresponsible. She's 13. She doesn't really know much about the place, and all of a sudden she finds there's an intruder in the house, and it's one of these demons from 40 something issues earlier, 30 issues earlier. It's it's a one shot, one and done story, and it really kind of introduces Kitty as someone who could annoy the hell out of you, but by the end of this story, you're rooting for her and you want her to be part of the X-Men. She's kind of earned her place in the course of one story because she shows so much guts and gumption and
Yeah.
ingenuity. She's clearly smart. She's even the way she uses the parts of the mansion because like, it involves stuff like the danger room, the Blackbird jet. So it's in a way it's a good introduction to the mansion as a setting as well.
Yeah.
So it's such an unusual like the amount of story we used to get crammed into these old kind of like
And
because what was this? This
Claremont
is
lets you know
1981.
how every power of hers works in detail in
Oh
that
yeah.
issue. I
Oh
remember that.
yeah. Completely. It's really and that's the thing. Look, it's great. It's by
It's
the
great.
numbers in that way, but it's why does it work? So it's this was great
It's
storytelling
just the
comics.
best.
Super verbose, super wordy,
You got a lot of
fantastically
story.
detailed art from Byrne, which was you got a hell of a lot of story. Just a simple one shot issue will give you 30 plus minutes reading, whereas that's, unheard of these days, let's face it, on a single issue. It's a great book. It's the mark of an end of an era. It's a great horror story. It's not necessarily the best Christmas story, but it's set during Christmas. So, if you think Die Hard's a Christmas film, which it is, then hey, maybe you'll
Absolutely.
like this. So if we ever do a Christmas episode, it might show up there as well. Also introduces Lee Forrester, that well-known background X-Men character who Cyclops hooks up with, and she also hooks up with Magneto. Source bottle. Oh, it's
Nice.
also available to read in many places, including this omnibus,
I was just
Uncanny
thinking about
X-Men,
it.
Volume 2.
I'm going to venture off from the
Ooh.
Marvel and DC for a second. I'll be back. And this, I think, I could have saved perhaps for a hidden gem, but someone would call me out on it. And yeah, I think it's going to surprise you. I think
No.
this is going to surprise you. I'm going
All
Dark
right.
Horse. I am
Oh,
going
yeah.
with a John Arcudi, Doug
Yeah.
Mahnke,
Mask?
The Mask. Yes,
No, you got that.
I do. I have this. I've had this on my shelf for a while because I like Doug Mahnke quite a bit, just as a fan. Like, you know what? These are two creators who went on to have pretty seasoned careers, right? They have
Yeah.
established names. And this was something that they created together. I didn't realize Doug Mahnke was one of the co-creators of The Mask.
I
And
didn't realize John Arcudi was until about a year ago.
yeah, so of course this was became hugely popular in 90s because of the movie with Jim Carrey and all that kind of stuff. With all the movie success and light that it shines on the book, which it was on Dark Horse, it wasn't a major comic book character. And it
No.
very much is a horror story in the sense of the mask is the character. And I know that sounds silly, but I'm saying the actual mask is more like a symbiote, the way it
Right.
connects to the host and brings out certain qualities in that host, but also tries to overtake the personality. I didn't realize that in the
Okay.
movie, right? So this gets into so it starts off very
I
indie
don't think I've
comic
seen the
like.
film.
No, it's a fun 90s rom-com
It's got Jim
action
Carrey
movie.
in it.
You're not a fan? I mean, at the time he was the
No.
guy, right? It has great the actress is escaping me now. Cameron
Cameron
Diaz.
Diaz.
her
Mm,
best
mm.
like look fantastic in that movie. With that said, the book is very different from the movie in the fact that the main character, Stanley Ipkiss, is not what the book is necessarily about. It's about the mask and the characters that it connects with. And I thought that was kind of cool. There's a through line, a plot line through the book with the detectives and trying to figure out who the guy with the big green head is. That's all they call him, the big green head, because he's a murderer. He has his own
Right.
sense of justice and being an anti-hero, but he's just on a killing spree. And there's no way to stop him. There's no rhyme or reason. It's just this old relic that becomes a monster, basically. So the humorous side of like that gratuitous sort of violence, which isn't shown the way it would be shown today, but at the time you're like, man, the mask is this is not for kids. This is not something that a kid could go to the comic book shop after watching the movie. He wouldn't be getting the same product,
Well, that's a point. Yeah.
right?
I mean, is it funny or is it like darkly funny?
It's funny but darkly funny because
Uh-huh.
there is an organized crime element to it with the police department, and when the mask changes hands, the person who uses it almost becomes like a little addicted to what it allows them to do. Like I get to finally set things right. But
Ah,
if
right.
you have vendettas like Stanley Ipkiss does, spoilers, it makes you it's almost like a genie in the bottle that never stops giving you your wish. So
You
he's
got
on
to
a
rub it the right way.
yeah, he's on a vendetta spree. So it's uh it's comical, it's got humor, dark humor, but it's very violent. And it's kind of like a horror story because you got this creepy, unexplained monster that is out for justice. Nobody can stop him. So this volume one collects the mask returns, and the mask strikes back.
You're right. Apparently, it's not like the film. I've seen bits of the film, but I just can't watch Jim Carrey for very long before I get really annoyed.
He'll annoy you in
Quite,
that one.
quite
Yeah,
ragey, yeah.
yeah, he'll annoy you in that one. All right,
Somebody stop him.
you're number two.
My number two is also an independently owned, creator-owned title, sort of indie book. It's it times actually, funnily enough, with a Netflix series that's just come out. They're not connected. Well, they are connected, but one didn't feed the other. But they've just released Monster the Ed Gein story on Netflix,
Mm,
which has got Charlie Hunnam as Ed Gein, which is an interesting casting there. What that sounds so odd, but
yeah.
I'm kind of intrigued. And I haven't wanted to watch any of the other monster stuff yet, but this is potentially a first, and it's partly because I read this book. It's called "Did You Hear What Eddie Gein Done?" It's by Harold Schechter and Eric Powell. Eric Powell, you may know from The
Yeah.
Goon,
Okay, yeah.
primarily. I do love his art. He also he does stuff like Big Man Plans. He's done loads of books over the years, but he does tend to veer into horror territory quite a lot. And so this is a horror book, a horror comic in that way, in that there's some really disturbing things that happen. And I didn't know much about this. This was the first time I really looked into this. I mean, I didn't know about the direct correlation between Ed Gein and Psycho, for example. The film. That was all new to me because I knew nothing about it. The closest I got to knowing anything about Ed Gein was that a member of Marilyn Manson, former member of Marilyn Manson, was called Gidget Gein.
Mm,
So, of course, they're always named after a model and a murderer. So,
right,
but
right,
that
right,
was
right.
it. Like, oh, he was a serial killer, right? Okay, but I didn't realize how impactful his actions were. So while it does it bounces through time a little bit, but I mean, some of it goes way back, and there's clearly a lot of research done. There's a whole set of appendices in the back that explain what some of their sources are and everything as well. So they've researched this. It's not just a let's tell a funny little comic book story about this thing. This is like a proper little biographical account of what happened. I mean, I really liked it. It's not below the radar in that I think it got a fair amount of praise when it came out. It's probably not something I read twice, but I'm glad I've read it, and I did really like it. I would actually recommend not looking it up and reading this book,
Right.
because even the trailer for Monster: The Ed Gein story basically tells you everything he did. They show it. It's pretty. Like it's all out there. Like, oh, that's what okay. And it's like, well, I'm kind of just I want to know now how those bits fit in together in a story.
Right.
Whereas
Right.
this, because
Shocks
I
you.
didn't know anything about it, I went in going, he did what? That is
Yeah.
twisted. And then you can kind of not understand where it comes from, but it's not that it rationalizes it, but it certainly explains how his brain came to be that broken. It's a pretty messed up story, but a fascinating one if you're into quite dark
Psychological.
accounts of
Yeah.
real life stuff.
Mm.
So yeah, did you hear what Eddie Gein done? Which sounds like a Cockney title. Gee, what Eddie Gein done? I know that's not how you'd pronounce it. Pronounce it, my old mucker. But a damn fine read and a nice
Nice.
addition to your shelf. What have you got for
Okay.
your number three, my dude?
My number three, I'm gonna go with surprise, surprise, Ghost Machine. I've recently read Hornsby and Halo. Have you come across that at all?
I'm due to read it. Let's say
Okay.
I really
It's
want to read it. I want to read it in a good chunk.
Yeah, I read the first six issues. I wanted to get
Uh-huh.
Hyde to try to sneak that into this episode, but it,
That
it
wasn't
hasn't
what
been
I thought
released.
you were going to say.
Yeah, it it hasn't been released yet. But Hornsby and Halo is a story about it's kind of like the best way for me to compare it so that comic book fans who may understand, it's kind of like the dark side and high father deal where they trade children as a act of peace. So heaven and hell in this case, who are always at war, have traded children. The heir of Hellfire, she's going to be a girl. This is the Rose Hornsby is her name, and then Halo, obviously the angel side.
Right.
They do a nature versus nurture
Yeah.
test where they put them in two different families that go against their nature, seeing how it is they will behave coming up. And eventually their paths cross and adventure ensues. And of course, you're dealing with the occult and otherworldly monsters and the issues of heaven and hell all mixed into this. But what's cool about it is the type of families that they're raised with are the complete opposite of their nature. So the girl who's going to be the queen of hell is being raised by these folks that are basically the Kents. They go to the soup kitchen. They're always doing these like family oriented, very like character building quality person type of family. And then on the
Mm.
other side, Halo comes from a family that is in the trying to think of the right term, the funeral business. They own a funeral home. They're morticians and they're grave
Right.
robbers.
Yeah.
His parents are
Oh God.
just terrible people. But his nature is just naturally to be good. But he's got all of this
Mm.
background of knowing how to be bad. So when their paths meet and cross and they realize that their destinies are intertwined, what's what? So it's
Yeah.
the six issues take you up to that point that's you'll either decide I'm in for the ride or not, but it's a good setup to kind of let you know who these characters are, but also it's perfect time for the season to read something like that.
It's commercial break time
Ba-dum,
of a
bum, bum, ba-dum.
sort. We got a little twist. Wow, wow.
Ooh, record scratch.
What's that, Glenn? That's right. I did almost forget there's a twist. What's that, Glenn? That hurt, Glenn. So our top five this time is most popular reading orders on the site that have a Halloweeny slant. Coming at ya. Number five, we got Aliens and Predator versus the Omniverse. That's the 1991 to 2019 period where they were with Dark Horse Comics and crossing over into other universes. Number four, from DC, we've got Creature Commandos, 1980 to present. Numero three, we've got the Hellboy Universe, 1949 to 1993. That's the kind of midpoint where Hellboy's with the BPRD, but it's before the main continuity kicks off. Two, Batman Origins, year one to the Long Halloween. And number
Nice.
one, a most popular kind of Halloween themed reading order is Hellboy Universe 1994 to present. So that's kind of your main Hellboy storyline with your BPRD and all the other kind of tie-ins and stuff, all thrown in together, all in order. My pleasure.
That sounds like the perfect reading order, actually. Very nice list. I like it. I was actually going to pick one of those
Thank you.
books that are in that reading order, but I didn't. But you listed it, so it's
So was
good.
I.
Your number three. Are you ready? Give me your numero
Are
tray.
you ready? So my number three is from a fairly dark title.
Mm.
It's the second series of Justice League Dark. So that includes Wonder Woman, Zatanna, Swamp Thing, Man Bat, and what was he called? It's got Detective Chimp. Detective Chimp is in it. Aroused. It's a monkey with a hat. I'm happy. I don't care what's going on in the story, and he's drinking heavy. So I
Sounds like the
like his
perfect person
style.
you're looking for at the pub. Where's the monkey
Oh,
in the
that's who
hat
I model
drinking?
myself on, dude. So this is Justice League Dark, the 2018 series, numbers 1 to 3. It's the first storyline. It's called The Last Age of Magic. It's collected as a trade paperback that's a little confusing because it's issues 1 to 3 and then 5 to 7, because one of the issues is in part of a crossover. So you kind of have to read the crossover that's in the middle. Makes it a bit awkward. It's by James. The first storyline's by James Tiny with art by Alvaro Martinez Bueno. Said that like I meant it. You can also get
Yeah,
it
you did.
in this Justice League Dark Rebirth
Chunker.
Omnibus, isn't it? Look at it. Ooh,
Nice,
ooh, you can
pretty.
wrap those fingers tight around that.
Gotta
It's
do.
a beauty. Now, I do love Zatanna. I do love Detective Chimp, as I may have let slip on occasion. Man Bat, of course, is also in it, which is an interesting addition. So, in that storyline, Kurt Langstrom has a different formula that allows him to retain some control over himself while he's in bat form at various degrees.
Mm.
So, sometimes he's almost looks like a bat boy. He almost looks like
Ah,
a kid
weird.
with a bat head.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, which takes a bit of getting used to, but when you do, yeah, this is just it. This is a fun book. This is post Dark Knight's Metal, when this is part of the new Justice themed title. So you get Justice League Dark, Justice League Odyssey with Darkseid in the lineup. I don't know how that works. I haven't read it yet. But you also get the Snyder and Tynion Justice League, and yeah, don't touch that. That's a different kind of horror in itself. This one, though, is good fun. And they introduce a new set of villains. Well, one of what will be a new set of villains. And he is quite the disturbing fellow. He's called the Upside Down Man, and he's a man. What is upside downs? And that doesn't sound very scary, but he's creepy as hell. He is really creepy. Like it's good character design on that man. Yeah, something. It's nightmare fuel. And I don't think of the other members of the other kind that are introduced later. I don't know if anyone quite lives up to the Upside Down Man. He is the guy.
Mm.
And on top of that, there's an added little extra twist in that someone who should be on their side might not be. Oh, I don't want to say too much because it would spoil it. Because there's a
Of
lot of
course, of
characters floating
course.
around, but you'd probably figure out quite quickly what's going on. This has a lot of promise. I haven't read the whole series yet. I'm about 7 issues in. Plus, I've read another, the crossover story that's in there too, and I am liking it. I'm looking forward to picking up each issue, finding the time to read the next issue. I'm kind of hit and miss with James Tynion. I don't follow everything he does, but if he's on a book, I'll give it a
Yeah,
shot, but I won't
yeah.
necessarily follow him to a series. But I like this kind of stuff, man. I like a team book. I like a twisted team book. I like the magic thing. I like the weird ass lineup. John Constantine becomes part of it after this story arc as well, though he does show up in this storyline. So if you're a fan of him, you will see him in this. I don't know if the lineup changes any further. I'm purposely not looking ahead to find out. But this was good fun. And it's 3 issues, so it's a fairly quick read. Modern comics being quick read, as we said earlier, it it may not it may not take long to do it, but you'll have fun while you're reading it, I think.
All that
Nice,
matters.
dark, twisted stuff, and it's fun superhero books as well. So it's kind of got that midway between squeaky nice and what the hell is that?
Yeah,
It's the
nice.
Upside Down
The
Man.
upside down man. Okay, cool. Very, very cool. So I've been talking about this book in other episodes related. The Lex Luthor one I brought up, The Secret Six. So I'm gonna go back to The
Mm.
Secret Six because I really enjoyed the chunk of reading that I got. This is in the second volume of the four that had come out. Money for Murder. It's the first story arc included in this. So the Secret Six have now kind of established themselves as a pseudo team after the first two. miniseries, one related to Villains United, Infinite Crisis, and then they had like a six-issue
Mhm.
miniseries called The Secret Six. Now the series starts again. This is number 1 to 14. The villain in this is really, really creepy. It's one of those, it's a villain in a box.
What?
And he's got a vendetta to find this woman who's stolen something from him that now I remember as I read this. Everybody on the team of the Secret Six is also because they're murder for hire, but the Secret Six, they're kind of like a offshoot of um, Suicide Squad, but
Okay.
not government funded or run, right? They're on their own. They're their own clandestine group with a lot of C-list
Mm.
characters that when they put them together this way, they're formidable.
It's
Bane,
Mida.
yes. Bane has now joined the team. He plays a very interesting role as a kind of like a stepfather to Vandal Savage's daughter. I forget Scandal. Scandal
Oh,
Savage is one of the characters on the Secret
yeah.
Six, and he
Okay.
everybody thinks that Bane has a thing for her, but he's got this more of like a protective big brother role that he plays on the team. As the story ensues, you see that this character in the box is a terrifying murderer, has no scruples. You don't see them much. They look like they're feeble because when they do walk, they're just completely covered in like a cloak, very cloak and dagger like. So the mystery is constantly there. Ragdoll is on the team. I don't know if you're familiar with the Ragdoll
Mm.
character, who's very,
Ragdoll
very creepy,
freaks me out a little bit. Yeah.
very prevalent in this book. Ragdoll scenes,
Mm. Okay.
very creepy.
So is
So
there a connection?
could be a connection,
Maybe.
could be a connection to the whole uh what's the word?
Dick in a
Contortionists.
box?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. The and the lengths that everybody will go to for this MacGuffin that everybody is after. There's all kinds of people being hired for the murder of the girl, of the retrieval of the item, because it basically will grant you that one thing you need, like that carte blanche. So all these characters have a reason why they want it. So even teammates have their own
Right.
agendas. So
Oh,
there's
so you can't trust anybody.
you can't trust anybody. It's a really rich story. Gail Simone, Nicola Scott is the
Mm.
artist, so quality of the work is really good. Catman, spoilers, has a one-on-one fight with Batman. Very cool.
Really?
Yeah. There's all kinds of cool stuff in the book. So check it out. Money for Murder. It can be found in Secret Six Volume 2 or
Hmm.
Omnibus Volume 1.
Okay.
Yes.
Man, that's making me want to go because I've got
Good.
Omnibus Volume 1 and
Oh,
I just haven't started it yet, but I really want to
it's
desperately.
fun.
I
It's a
know I'm
lot of
trying to do
fun.
that. Don't start till you hit that part of the timeline thing. I can't
Ah,
wait, man. I
no, it's a
love
lot
that
of
kind
fun.
of title.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
It's a lot of fun because
good
again the
stuff.
rules aren't as strict as they would be with a Superman. Like, they let writers have
Yeah,
their story and do what they want to do, but with these characters there isn't that much
it's
connectivity
not an
where
IP to
people,
protect.
yeah, and the fans of the characters aren't going to be like they ruined the character. There hasn't really been a lot of cool things done with Catman. Let's be honest.
Well, if anything, they've gone against what Catman was like in the earlier appearances
Right.
completely,
Right.
and I think he's better for it.
Exactly.
Do you want my number four?
Yes, please.
Yes. I think in previous, at least one previous one, I've chosen a Transformers story for the comics to chill to. I think I did anyway, which might have been All Hail Megatron because it's kind of got horror film elements to it. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. Maybe I should if I didn't. I'm not choosing that, but I am choosing a Transformers story. It's called Transformers Spotlight Cup. It's a one shot. It can be read on its own. It was written to exist as part of whatever continuity because they were just setting up the IDW continuity, the phase one, what became the phase one continuity at the time. It stars Cup, who you use to protect your balls when playing cricket. He's also the character from Transformers the movie, who's the old guy with the
Mm,
gruff voice.
mm.
Use a
Okay.
universal greeting. I can't do his voice. I can't do it. Ra
Right.
weep, grana weep, ninny bong as well. The cup in this continuity is in a very, very different place. And when you meet him, it's in this issue. And he's stranded on an alien planet. He's surrounded by these weird crystals. He's also surrounded by all of his dead teammates. He's the last survivor, and there are zombots attacking the place that he's basically holding as his safe spot, his fortress. It's like they've made him so that he's gaunt and he's lost weight. He's got skinnier arms and legs,
Mhm.
and so it's kind of the grizzled old soldier, but he is losing his mind while these zombots are attacking him, or is he hallucinating, or what the hell is going on? So it's got real strong horror theme vibes. So it was written and drawn by Nick Roche, who is a UK creator. Hi, Nick, come on the
Hmm.
show. And
Hmm.
he wanted to do a kind of Transformers meets I Am Legend kind of story. That was his thinking. So it's like that last person on Earth surrounded by these horrendous threats. But he does take it in its own direction. It's 22 pages. It's kind of like I say, it's a one shot. It's potentially one and done, but it does fit into a larger story because they kind of engineer it so it fits into a larger story. So you can find out what else happens to Cup. It's part of the escalation event. So that is covered on a website called Omniverse Comics.guide, which tells you
Hmm.
the order to read it in. So go check that out there. Don't read the overview though, because you want to read the issue. That's how you want to read it. Read the proper comic. It's great stuff. It's Transformers hasn't hit its stride with IDW at this point, but there are some really nice sporadic stories. This being one of them. It's just a nice but sort of nasty read, and not what you expect of a Transformers story.
I like when you sneak in the Transformer stuff because I am not
Me too.
yeah, I not well versed. And so you always tempt me to want to go and get those.
There's
Man.
time.
Okay, my number five. How can you talk
Oh,
about Halloween without the Dark Knight Detective? So I went
here he
into my
comes.
collection and I tried to find something that I intended to read last year and I didn't get around to it. Didn't have enough time to fit it in. So I did it this year. And it is Batman and the Monster Men by Matt Wagner.
Oh,
I have it collected in this hardcover. I'm not a big fan of its design at all. It deserves a
oh,
much
really?
better.
I quite
Yeah,
like those.
I mean, this kind of weird. This little
Well,
block
when you
thing.
get a few of them together, they go, that's weird.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
ins because
that block is weird.
that's how I read it without the dust jacket. But this
Yeah.
collects the Mad Monk 1 to 6, and then it
Mhm.
has the Batman, Batman and the Monster Man 1 to 6, Dark Legend of
Mhm.
Dark Knight 28 to 30. So it's a good collection of Matt Wagner stuff. That's not everything. It's a good hearty read.
No.
But the 6 issues of Batman and the Monster Men, of course, is a Hugo Strange story. It takes place in that
Yeah.
sweet spot before there's a Robin. He's still kind of new at the job. Commissioner Gordon is not commissioner yet. So we're in that early
Hmm.
stage of the Falcone, Maroni crime family stuff. In and
Jabroni.
yeah, in and around probably the Long Halloween timeline, like not too far off
Well, if
from
you do
there.
want to know how it fits together, you can actually see where at least two of the stories you've mentioned fit together using the Batman Origins Year One to Long Halloween reading order.
There you go.
So
So it's
they're super early because they're based on the old 1930s, 1940s stories of Batman.
R- Right, right. So you get that sort of feel to it. And Hugo Strange, I think, shows up in the Rebirth Night of the Monster Men, some storyline that crosses
Mm,
over with Nightwing. Steve Orlando wrote it.
yeah, yeah,
This one's really good. And I think I'm a fan of Matt Wagner's stuff with DC. I haven't read his Grendel, which I know is
yeah.
kind of
Me
like
too.
his real bread and butter. Trinity, I'm a big fan of. And then this fits well
Uh-huh.
with that early noir feel of Batman. He's dating Julie Madison at this time. He's invested in the relationship, but he also is realizing that I probably can't balance both of these worlds. There's
Hmm.
the organized crime element, and then of course Hugo Strange, who is this geneticist trying to put together the perfect specimen, is failing. But in the process,
Yeah.
he's creating these monsters that through cloning, through this archaic type of cloning, right? He's just figuring it out as he goes along. He's this brilliant scientist, but he's doing this crazy type of cloning that is creating these monsters in Gotham. Perfect Halloween story.
Well, if he wanted the perfect specimen, I'm sure I could sort one out for him, but I'd charge him 20 quid.
Well, in this case, he did get a not a specimen, but a DNA sample of an interesting person to clone.
Oh,
Ooh, so there's always that.
ooh.
There you go. So yeah, wasn't surprised, but I was pleased. I was pleasantly surprised in the sense of like this was better even than I thought it would be. Because
Oh, that's cool.
those miniseries that come out because this creator's on it, you never know if it's hit or miss, right? At where it fits
Yeah,
into everything. Should I invest in it? But this is worthwhile. This Matt Wagner collection of Batman stories
yeah.
is very worthwhile.
I love it when you get the people who really understand the character, and I think Matt Wagner does a great Batman.
Yeah, he really does.
Okay, this is fairly obscure. I know that we try and recommend stuff that you can track down, sometimes at a push with the odd book here and there, but for the most part, you can find it if you've got the will. This is a little bit tricky to track down, but if you're a big Hellboy fan, this was a big influence on that, apparently. So this is really obscure stuff. This is Dylan Dog number 19. So Dylan Dog, it's a bit weird because it's an Italian comic set in London. So it's obviously like an Italian view of what London's like, but it's from the 1980s as well. So this story came out in 1988. So of course, set in London, inevitably it's going to have a Jack the Ripper story because every story that's set in England has to have Jack the Ripper or King Arthur in it because that's all we've got here. They're literally the only two British English legends anyone pulls from, instead of all the other amazing legends that we've got. Uh, like
Put yourself in a corner
Steve,
there.
the radiator repairman, and that bloke who lost his slippers in Argos. So it's a tricky book to find, but there's only seven stories. So it's seven issues of Dylan Dog, very random, sporadic issues. So it starts with the first one. That's not the one I'm going to talk about because I wasn't a big fan of the first one, but you can see it's trying to find its feet. But Dylan Dog is almost like a supernatural detective. You can see this is a Mike Mignola cover on this. So they did it as a six-issue miniseries just with some choice stories. And then they did a one-shot called Dylan Dog Z, number one. And then they collected all seven of those into this. So they're all translated from Italian. I don't know if it's the first time they've done it, but that's what they've done here, or else it would have been a struggle for me to read. The art does vary, but in the storyline I'm picking, which I'm going to try Italian, but I'm not going to put an accent on because, some people might kick the shit out of me. It's Memoir dall'Invisible. I'm doing it with Memoir dall'Invisible, mate. It's known in this as Memories from the Invisible World. I am reading that off because I knew I was going to
Yeah,
get that wrong.
that's okay.
But yeah, it's from Dylan Dog 19, which I think from the Dark Horse reprints was like issue two or three. But it's a weird one, and I kind of liked it. And I mean, I by the end, I must admit, I'm not sure how I feel, but it's left me thinking about how I feel about it, and that sometimes is kind of interesting enough. So it might sway you one way or the other, but I mean, that's stories. I was going to read a bit of it just because I really like the way it's written. It's very cool, and it opens with these. I mean, look, I'll try and show you the cover and some of the page art there. But the way that character is designed, can you see that?
Mm-hmm. Very
The
cool.
way that character is designed is really cool. He's got like the raincoat on, no, and the what do you call that hat? Like the Indiana
Fedora?
Jones hat. Fedora, thank you. And he's got that, and you don't. It's all black where his face is. But it starts off with this whole monologue. That's, I've always been a nobody. When I was a child, my mother used to confuse me with my brother, even though I'm an only child. To this day, she still thinks I'm my brother.
Oh
Um,
my
and it
goodness.
does this whole lengthy thing, and then it actually does a little twist in terms of who the narrator themselves, and there's another twist, and there's another twist, and it's like what? I'm trying to guess it because I'm annoying because I can normally guess what the twists are going to be, but there's so many twists. I'm kind of going, where are we going at this point? I like what they did. I mean, it's an old title. This issue came out in 1988, as I say. I mean, God, what was I, 12? Ooh, giveaway. But I do like it. It's a bit odd in that it feels like it finishes and then they kind of go, let's string it on for a few more pages because we've got a few to fill. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Should
Mm.
we do that? So it probably outstays its welcome a little bit. But I want to read some more of this stuff because just ideas wise, some of what's thrown around in there is actually really cool. And the horror element is smart. I think maybe there's a twist too many, but while it was there, it was fun. Like I couldn't put this thing down. The first, so that it's a bit weird. Dylan Dog is sort of an annoying, obnoxious character, but it works in this storyline. Whereas I don't think it works well in the first. He's also got a sort of manservant, sidekick, best friend type character who in Italy is called Groucho and has a mustache and looks like Groucho Marx. In the American or English versions, he doesn't have the mustache and he's called Felix because of copyright reasons. But he still behaves like Groucho Marx. So it's a bit
Mm.
odd because that connect isn't there. But I don't know if it'd be weirder if he did look like Groucho Marx because you're going, why? I don't understand. Like he's called Groucho, but he's saying he's not the Groucho Marx, but he looks like, why is this happening? And he's so annoying. So like, he's not in the Memories from the Invisible World story much, which is good. But yeah, it's weird, and it looks like there's a lot of different stories in this. I mean, that one is a horror story in that there's an element of supernatural. There's obviously some horror. There are some murders. I don't want to talk about who's getting murdered because that also probably loads of words I can't say on YouTube. But it's Ladies of the Night Times,
Mm.
and of course, that links back into the whole Jack the Ripper mythos, which they do reference, and it's clearly a nod to that. But there's
Mm.
more to it than that, even. If you are obsessive, which I was, I had to fight to get hold of this, and I got lucky. So it can be done, but it's pretty
Nice.
rare. Or Dark Horse might reprint it someday, because look, it's a nice
They'll reprint
chunker,
it.
and that's
Yeah.
quite popular these days.
We got a good mix for people for this.
I didn't say the creators. Do you want me to humiliate myself before
Yeah,
we wrap up?
please. Absolutely.
Okay. Dylan Dog was written by Tiziano Sclavi and Giampiero
Gian Piero, you got it.
Casitano.
You're pretty good.
Oh, is it John Piero?
Gian
Oh,
Piero,
of
yeah.
course it is.
You did good. And Tiziano, you did fine.
Casitano.
You did said it just fine. Embarrassed yourself a
Yeah,
little bit. No,
sorry.
not at all. You
Why
made it
not?
even
I
sound
thought I'd
more
try and
classy.
credit them even if I can't say it
Casitano.
proper.
I like it with the English accent better.
Tiziano
Tiziano.
Sclavi. Darling.
Always another every episode we come up with good picks. I do say so myself. Right? We got some good recommended reads
Oh,
between
God.
the
Yeah.
X-Men, the Batman, the Spideys. Yeah, it'll be
It's
a
all
good
sorts.
Halloween. If you listen to this episode, you got some good recommended reads. I was surprised with The Mask. I will say that. That was one of those
I was
better than I
surprised with the It's
expected.
your choice. You shouldn't be surprised. You had it behind the camera.
Everybody who's watching us on YouTube, thank you so much. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up, that subscribe button. Leave us a comment. We appreciate it. And of course, omniversecomics.guide. See how I said it so
That
quick?
guide. You did.
Omniversecomics.guide. Check us
You
out.
smooth talker.
I could be smooth sometimes. I finally, my tongue isn't quite as tight as it was at the beginning, but I could be smooth sometimes. Anyways, Dave, always
Yeah,
a pleasure.
now's a good time for it not to be, yeah.
Always
Just
a,
as we're wrapping up.
I know. I'm
Oh,
sorry. My friend,
ah,
always a pleasure.
yeah,
And we're going to be
my
back at it
dude.
soon. Yes.
We are.
Been too long. Miss you, buddy.
Yeah, too long. Likewise, man. Let's do this again.
Yeah, we should. We should do a podcast or something. It'll be
Yeah, let's
fun.
do it.
All right, dude. Everybody watching with us, bid you adieu. We'll see you soon. We got more episodes coming, interviews. Stay tuned.
Mm.
All right, Dave. Bye.
Peace.